Hey guys, I have spent a week with this new Open Bible, the redesigned Nelson Open Bible that they brought back, and did a whole new redesign of it. I have another video that I did the original review. The Bible was, a day old. I had just gotten it, so that was a review that's just a straightforward what I was seeing at the time. And now that I have studied with this one specifically all week, I have been using this Bible, trying to, since I'm so used to the older one, I wanted to use this one just through the whole week and see what it felt like, and how I would run into things that would come up and stuff like that that are different. Overall, though, I love this new Bible. They did a great job. Other than a couple things that I would have liked to have seen, it's just my own personal bias, but I think some people might agree with me. But it has nothing to do with the major thing that is important with this Bible and with all of our Bibles, is that the first thing they should focus on is the Word of God and how it's readable. That's the main thing they should first go into, and I think that Nelson did that. I think that they did make a small print, and that is one thing that people are concerned with. I would love to see a large print, but this print is actually very good, and I'm going to compare a very popular Bible with it to show you guys what I mean. I did make some comparisons of the text with my first video, but I want to show this again with another Bible. So anyways, I want to talk about some things that are missing and just some things I've noticed throughout the week. And I did point some of this out in the first video, but I have found that there's certain things that I find better in the older one for me, but you might not. So we'll see. I like the aesthetics. This Bible is, the older Bible just grabs me. It has that old, genuine leather with the tooled-in ribbing. It was a really beautiful Bible during its time. It was great. Styles have changed, but if you're wanting to get into the Open Bible, like in collecting, highly recommend it. If it's a Bible that you love, try to find one of these large prints. They're really great Bibles, but remember that the paper back then was thin, so you're going to get tons of ghosting, unlike you have now with the new prints. Now here, in the older Open Bible, this here, as you can see, it's got quite a bit of ghosting on the paper that was used back then. I've gotten used to it. I actually like the paper, even though it's thin and has ghosting. I really do. I like it. It's got a neat feel to it. This is something that I think that Nelson should have kept. It's only 2 pages, but instead of it being a text here where it says welcome to the Open Bible, and it explains the text in written form, this does it in a picture form and written form. So it's kind of neat how they have the bubbles and the lines, and I think that with the beautiful red that they have in this, and black with the highly just super saturated ink, it's very dark, nicely done throughout the whole Bible. I think it would have looked great on this page. Excuse me. But I think that color would have transferred over really well for the new one. I'll show you here where they explain the topical index. It's a lot darker and more bold in the old one. I think that's exactly what it would have looked like in the new one without the ghosting and everything. I think it would have really just jumped off the page at you. But yeah, I'm sure there was a reason they decided to do that, and a new style and everything. So it's just one of those things. That's my own bias, really. It doesn't really affect the text a whole lot, but it does help new Christians that are new to a study Bible, and it just kind of gets them going, and speeds up the process for them. And then another thing here, I found that this is the major thing for me, next to the smaller print. There are some places in the text that are kind of hard for my older eyes that are getting aged. But overall, as a reading Bible, it's great, guys. The font is a small font, but it is very nice. But as you can see here in the topical of the older one, you have the page numbers here. You have a line separating all the columns. And then you have the major thing that I noticed as I was studying throughout the week I love, this is the most important part of the Open Bible. I love it. It's just a huge, I'll show you here in this one, since it's spread out more, it's just a big chunk of paper. I mean, there's so much information there. It's crazy, and it's still in the new one. It's just they scrunched it down. That made it to where it was less pages. But one of the things is, as you can see here, it says A, B, C as it goes down. It's clear on the outside, and then you have a lot of space in between the subject matter. You get that gap there, and it just kind of spreads it out, and it makes it easier for me to find. Now, it's a kind of a tracking issue with the way that I read. I find that it's a little bit easier to follow it in the old one, even though in my original video I said it kind of looked like ants on the page. It does from a distance, but as you're studying and you're getting into the text, it actually kind of keeps it more framed for me, and I'll show you here. With the older one, the newer one, next to the older one here, you go up from above, and you watch it from above, and you say, because this is super dark, it's beautiful, you get the red, and it's nice. It's a very beautiful Bible, but you don't get the line down there, which that is not needed. I don't think the line needs to be there, but the way that they categorize these, there's just not very much space in between. See how it doesn't, the letters don't come out very far from what you're looking at. And then not having those page numbers is huge. Just having the verse is a little bit more difficult for people that are new to the Bible. So it's going to be a little bit different for them to study out of this than it would be the older one. But if you're familiar with the Word of God, it won't be much of an issue. But when it gets to those times where you're like maybe having a Bible study with a youth group or with your kids, a first study with somebody who's new to the Bible and they have an open Bible, having that page number is huge. It is such a helpful thing, and I don't know why their choice was to not have it in there other than, not having the lines there. I guess that would have brought the line in to keep it lined up. I don't know. I don't know what the design idea and philosophy was on that. But, you guys out there that are better at this kind of stuff with the font, like R. Grant Jones, his channel, he's really into font spaces and how the text has been printed. And he might know why they kind of went this direction more than I would. But anyways, anybody feel free to chime down below how you feel about that. But me, I think they should have kept it. And studying throughout the week really made that apparent for me as a reader. But it might not bug you guys. Anyways, so let's move on. It's a very white paper, so it really makes the text jump off the page. I love that. It's not like a harsh white, but it's very nice. I originally said that it was not line matched. I didn't mean to say that. I kind of flubbed on that. It is line matched, but there are some pages that you'll find throughout the text, but it's few and far between, guys. Believe me, I went through this thing almost literally page by page, and you'll only find this like once in a blue moon, and I'm only showing it because it's what I seen when I first got the Bible. I seen a few pages that had this, and I just assumed it wasn't fully line matched. You can see, I'll try to get that light to shine on it better. It's off by a hair, but it doesn't matter because it's like 99% line matched. When somewhere in that number compared to how many pages you have. And I went through this almost page by page, and yeah, it's a good Bible print. It's amazing, the white paper, the opacity of the paper. You don't get that ghosting effect, and it just makes for a better read, even with the bigger font in this other Bible, which is easier for me to read, but sometimes that ghosting gets so bad that it's actually much easier to read a smaller font than it would be if it was, having so much ghosting that it just distracts from your experience. Another thing they did retain the stars, the Messianic dark star and light outline star. So I'll show you down here for fulfilled and unfulfilled prophecies. So as we'll look through here, you'll see there's a star right there. And that means it's a prophecy that has not been fulfilled by the time that this was being written. And then you can jump over to the New Testament, which is really neat, and find it'll have the places where it was fulfilled, and then they put the dark star. So that's really cool. It was just in the older one, they put it next to the verse because everything in the older one is the end of verse references. And so the stars would have been at the end of the verse, and it just stands out more. So, but this way, it's still there, guys. So it's cool, and the layout is really nice. And what I wanted to show you guys here in Matthew, I'll turn to Matthew where I have it saved, and show you a very popular Bible, which is our Thompson chain, and it's one of the Bibles that I have reviewed numerous occasions, and one of the biggest things that I get from people is the red letter in the Thompson chain, specifically mainly the King James edition of the Thompson. I did reach out to them, and I'm waiting for them to reply. They haven't had much time yet, but I'm hoping after the holiday they'll be able to get back to me. And I asked them some questions about their text and paper and everything, guys, and I'll do a review here soon on that subject matter. As you can see here, if you're somebody who's read the Thompson chain a lot, you can look at the font of the Thompson in the red and look just at the difference that you get. Not necessarily with the black. Thompson does all right with that, does good with it. But if you're used to the Thompson, this will kind of give you an idea of how nice this font is. So I'm going to back up. It is literally about the same size font. It's just so much more bold that it just jumps off the page at you. Very, very nice text. Zoom there. And then when it comes to the red letter, it's just night and day. This red looks really nice, guys, in person. Trying to get the camera to get in on there, but it's a nice red, and it's consistent throughout. One of the reasons that the Thompson bugs me, trying to focus, is see how it just kind of bleaches out that red font, and then you get that ghosting. You don't get that with this Nelson Bible, guys. It is just beautiful. The way it's nice and clean looking. Very easy to read. Love it. So throughout the week, I was noticing that more and more. Just a really, really nice text. The only thing that I ran into, guys, with this small font is these smaller, the letters for the verses, and then you get the number for translator, differences in translation, omissions, things like that. Sometimes it's hard for me to see that tiny little number that's in the text, and so my eyes will kind of bug out on me. But overall, in good lighting, it's really, really nice to read. So I did notice that they didn't put the page numbers also in the study, the main study that they have in this, the Guide to a Christian's New Life, doesn't have the page numbers to that study system. So that was kind of weird too, that they didn't have the page numbers. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of odd. I didn't see it at first when I did the original review. I'll show you here. It just has the verses and no page numbers, but the old one has the page number next to the verses. So kind of a big deal for me. I don't know why they did that. I would have liked to have seen them keep the page number, mainly because a lot of new Christians are going to come over to this Bible, and that really helps them out a lot, and it just makes Bible studying a lot quicker to turn through your pages and stuff. So anyways, and then one last thing I want to get into here is they left out the archaeological supplement, and it's nowhere in the back, but do know that the references, you get a lot more references in this Bible. I noticed I was somewhere, and it only had 2 references in the old one, and it had 6 in this one on a verse. So that was a huge difference, guys. So I know that they've added extra references to this since the older one. And then I'm going to show you guys what you're going to be missing. So if you want to get into collecting the Open Bible, you'll like getting these old ones because you're going to get some other stuff in there that's really cool and unique to collecting these Bibles. It makes it fun, you know. It's God's Word. There's nothing wrong with collecting, keeping extra Bibles around. I've given so many away to people, and that's what's fun about it. You know, people will visit my house, family members, and I'll be like sharing the Bible and be like, "You want that? Cool." You know, it happens once in a while, and it's fun to do. You know, it's very cool, and I think some people just get so worked up about that stuff. Now I'm not finding it. Trying to find the archaeological pages here, guys, so I can count them and show you exactly what you're missing here. Let's get over here. Forgot to mark this one. So here you got the archaeological supplement in the older one. So you're not getting that at all in the new one, but it does have quite a bit. So I'm going to turn through the pages here and show you guys that don't know about this Bible. It just keeps going. You get the pictures like you do with the Thompson Chain Reference Bible, and it does the same thing. And this is actually a good chunk. At first I was thinking it was smaller, because when I think of the tongue-tied archaeological supplement, I always think of the Thompson Chain and how big the Thompson has. But honestly, the Open Bible has a pretty decent size archaeological supplement, guys. It just goes on and on with great pictures. Just awesome stuff, you know, and I really like this, and this is why the older Open Bible it's still my favorite edition, the older edition, even with its inferior paper, inferior print, and not really font style. I kind of like the older font styles myself, but this new comfort print actually captured that older style better than the other 2K Denmarks that I've seen. I really like the new King James. I think they did a great job with that. But anyways, guys, that's what I learned throughout the week. Another thing that I started doing was taking my church Bible publisher Bible and transferring, using these in unisons. So you take these and you use them together. You take that encyclopedia at the beginning, and then take your wide margin note takers church Bible publisher Bible, and you can take those topics and put them in, and as you study and things that you notice by using that, and then you can put everything down, and then it becomes kind of an additional Bible that's going to have those things that I love about the Open Bible kind of mixed together. But anyways, guys, that's a long video. Went on pretty far here. A lot of people might not even watch this far. So anyways, I love you all, guys. I'll see you next time when I get a Bible here pretty soon. I'm waiting on one. You know how it is for us. We stock the mailman. I'm stocking the mailman every day, waiting for that one. So anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Love you. Bye-bye.